the still of the night.
All right, we're back.
You already
Yes,
know.
Sean, we are
The
back.
ones and twos.
You say this every... Dude
And the
opens up
threes
his
and the
shows.
fours,
We're
the
back.
6, 7s, and the
We never
9s
went
and
anywhere.
10s, and all the numbers you could think of.
Sean, this is Three Man Weave. This is your show, but I'm introing it up alongside Josh C. I'm Benzino the Hero. Sean Edwards is right there.
We always here.
Mm-hmm.
Basically. So, guys, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers just came off of a sweep, you know, waiting for their second round opponent.
Got the brooms out.
Brooms.
Unfortunately, I don't know if they're relaxing or in a state of panic right now.
Nah, they
At
scared.
this very moment.
They scared.
Due to what transpired in the series clinching victory.
Transpired.
Transpired, yes, I'm going to get all articulate
Let's
on
get
the
it.
airwaves.
Use them SAT words.
Yes.
Yeah, you know.
Third year in college.
I
SAT
got
words.
a 1,300 on that, but who
Wow.
cares?
Ooh.
You had to drop the number.
No, I didn't have to.
Dropping
I'm just-
numbers and bars out here, Sean?
You had to. You're the
Bro.
statistician of the show.
Bro, what credit am I gonna get off of a 1,300?
I don't know.
You're in college right now, yo. I applaud that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I applaud you. You know.
All right, let's get in this segment.
All right, yeah. Joshy,
Enough-
what are we talking about?
Enough about Sean. All right, segment number 3.
All right. Yeah.
We're going to get into the suffering Cavaliers right now. Unfortunately, they have a few losses over this weekend, even though they got the sweep. They lost Kevin Love with a dislocated shoulder. He's projected to definitely be out the semifinals and highly unlikely to play in the rest of the postseason. J.R. Smith suspended for 2 games for connecting fist to face with Jay Crowder, knocking him clean out.
Hiya!
He put Jay Crowder on the floor, you know, and he was showing Mayweather and Pacquiao how to knock each other out. So that's how this segment kicked off. So let's kick off with segment with the first thing with the Love injury. First of all, do you think that the dislocation of the arm by Kelly Olynyk, was it on purpose or by accident?
Well, if anybody that haven't seen the play, Kevin Love and Kelly Olynyk were going after a loose ball, and Olynyk and Kevin Love locked arms, and then you could see Olynyk with his offhand grabbing Love's arm and pulling it, and which after the pull of the arm from Olynyk and Love, you see Kevin Love just running. He's going into the locker room, so something was pulled. Now, going after a loose ball, it's mano-a-mano at that point. You're trying to get the ball, but what Olynyk did, I think was it intentional? I don't think so. I don't think it was intentional, but they had to get the ball. That's the game. Get the ball.
Yeah.
Sean, your thoughts?
Sean, let's get your insight on this.
My thoughts is it could have gone.
Decisive. We ain't playing.
It could have.
All right.
This ain't 50 Shades of Grey.
No.
No copyright infringement, by the way. Don't sue us. We
All right.
can't afford it. Nah, choose a side though.
It wasn't on purpose.
Okay.
You know, Kelly Olynyk. My apologies. Was just trying to stop Kevin Love from getting the ball. Kevin Love, tried to swing away and kind of get to the ball. Did sort of pushed it to happen. You know what I mean? It was inadvertent. I don't think it was a Bush League play, which Kevin Love said.
Yeah.
And even if the league does, the league has gotten on top of it and they've suspended Kelly Olynyk, and I believe that ban obviously is in place for the next season since
They suspended him the
Celtics
first game.
First game, yeah.
are over. With that being said, guys, I'm gonna play role of the moderator now. The absence of these two guys, how does it affect the Cavaliers going forward, especially with an anticipated opponent in the Bulls, who I'm sure we all know will be that semifinals opponent?
All right. Well, I'm gonna give my intake first on the whole Kelly Olynyk situation. I also do not think he did it intentional. Like Benzino said, it was mano-a-mano for the ball, and I think what I saw in the play was that Love was reaching for the ball, and Kelly Olynyk was like, "No, I cannot allow him to get the ball." So their arms got tangled, grabbing for the ball, and I think Kelly was trying to pull Love's hand away from the ball, and Love jerked his arm to get it loose from Kelly Olynyk, and they got wrapped up in the pull, and that's it. It just popped, and his shoulder came out.
Nice sound effect.
Thank you.
Right?
So I think that's what happened. And once Love heard that pop, he was like, oh, "Okay, it's done. I can't go to the sideline and hopefully the doctors can patch me up. We gotta go back in the locker room. We got all the medical equipment. You know, you got all the techs there. You got people there that get paid." Some really good money that can help pay my tuition type of money to get them done, get them bandaged up and everything like that. So I don't think it was intentional. Unfortunately, Kelly Olynyk has to serve a suspension for that, but I don't think it was intentional, and I think Love's words were spoken out of passion. Now, when it comes to the impact, even though I don't think the Cleveland Cavaliers use Love to his fullest potential in their system, I still think it will have a great impact, especially if the Chicago Bulls make it out of their series with the Bucks. I don't just see you have Love there. Love says he get you rebounds. So now you lose somebody else who can get you rebounds. You lose somebody who can help spread the floor for you. Love can shoot mid-range jumpers out of the building. He can shoot the 3-ball. He helps spread the floor. He opens the court for Kyrie and Love to attack the basket. And without his presence being on the floor, now the court shrinks. And also now that JR suspended for 2 games, think about that. For at least 2, with them both being out, the court shrinks tremendously. Now it's like, okay, who are we going to give the ball to help spread the floor? You know, Mike Miller has shown up in certain times, but he's not been that consistent.
I forgot he's on a squad.
James Jones has not produced, I guess, as the 3-point light-up shooter they thought he would be right now. And I think he doesn't help spread the floor a lot. So now, if you take away the 3-ball from the Cleveland Cavaliers, you're playing now attack the basket. And Chicago will love that because you have Gasol, Noah, and Gibson, who are tremendous defensive players, can guard their big men perfectly. Would love to see LeBron and Kyrie keep attacking them because they can alter their shots, get rebounds. And so I think their losses will be greatly impacted. And Love's loss would be the difference between them winning the championship this season or being home and watching the NBA Finals.
I agree with what you said, and the fact that Gasol, who's coming off the bench for Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna put Tristan Thompson on Pau Gasol.
Yep.
That's life for Gasol. And Gasol stretches the floor too for Chicago. And the reason that Love's injury is so impactful because the injury of Varejao.
Yeah.
If Varejao was healthy, this conversation would still have an impact because Kevin Love is a top 20 player in this league, but with Varejao being out, that's a defensive purpose to guard Gasol.
Yep.
Now you rather have Tristan Thompson on Gasol or Varejao? I'm going with Varejao.
Yeah.
So that's an impact for Cleveland. And for the offensive side of J.R. Smith, I would rather have Iman Shumpert in to start it off. Yeah. He's going up against, hopefully, the Chicago Bulls. He's from the Chi. So I would like to see that matchup. Even though Iman, he used to be a Knick, so I know how he plays. He's a little bit inconsistent from the 3, but he's a defender. He's a tough-nosed player, and I would like that from Iman.
Yeah. Sean, your intake?
Well, my take as far as Kevin Love, I don't think much is going to change, believe it or not, guys. What has Kevin Love's best moments as a Cleveland Cavalier, his best games this season, including the playoff game, show that he flourishes as a 3-point shooter and jump shooter. They could plug in a Mike Miller for that. They could plug in a James
if he's
Jones
consistent.
for that.
Neither one of them have been consistent. That's the thing. You can see them plug them in, but if they're not consistent,
there's no point.
Yeah, you could plug me in at the 3-point line. Don't mean I'm gonna make a 3-point three.
Joshy Martin.
And I'll miss all the threes. So if they're not consistent, it doesn't matter if you can plug them in if they can't shoot the 3 and help spread the floor and make it where. That's the thing though. Mike Miller and James Jones is not a threat like Love because teams not gonna game plan for Mike Miller and James Jones. Teams have to game plan for Kevin Love because they're like, okay, let's say LeBron's having a little bit of an off night or Kyrie's not starting off real good. They can dish the ball to Love, and Love now works the post, get a few points there, help stretch the floor, spread the floor, shoot the 3, and now you're like, oh boy, now we got 3 All-Stars to work with. Now they only got 2.
Yeah, exactly what you said, but that's if. Remember how you said earlier that the Cavs weren't even using K-Love to his fullest potential.
Yeah, but they was using him as a 3-point shooter.
As a 3-point shooter. So you're saying that with him out of there, they're going to miss that post presence and that stretch, forward kind of a player.
Yeah.
But Kevin Love has shown to flourish better, deviating away from that. Well, being in a post guy rather, and just by being just a shooter who I'm saying they have more of. Not as consistent, but Kevin Love himself hasn't shown the most consistent year in terms of production.
Yeah, but he's also been injured a lot too.
All right, yeah, maybe I'm going a little too hard on K Love.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I think about K Love. In terms of J.R. Smith, I think that is a big loss. J.R. Smith, he's been shooting better in Cleveland, without having to create as much as he did.
That's Mr. 3-point line in Cleveland.
Yeah, Mr. 3-point line. I think he there was a game recently where he took nothing but 3-point shots.
Yeah, he literally scored all 24 points off of threes.
Earl.
8 threes.
8 threes, yep.
8 threes. With no, he never tried to shoot a 2 either.
He did, yeah, that was the most 3-point shots without attempting a 2-point field goal. Sean, stay focused.
Yeah, so.
Oh, come on, please.
That right there, diminishes with him out of there. You could plug in an Iman Shumpert, but offensively, defensively a plus, offensively a minus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not nowhere near as consistent. I think, as far as my predictions or my opinions rather, the K Love minus doesn't really change much. The J.R. Smith minus changes a good amount. Any more thoughts on this, guys?
Okay, so let me pose this question to both of you. You know Benzino valuing Love, you're not valuing Love. So you're telling me, based off the injury, there's reports that say Cleveland's gonna have to really evaluate Love now that he's out and to see what is his value to the team. You're telling me that because you can plug anybody in, why offer Love a max contract this offseason? You're pretty much saying if you can plug anybody in, like he's I guess you could say he's dispensable. I think is the word I'm looking for right now. So you're saying that they're dispensable. He's easily replaceable. So you're saying he's not worth signing him to a big long-term deal. If you're saying anybody can be plugged in, I mean, then if you're working for Cleveland, let's say you're the GM, you would say, okay, if I could plug anybody in,
let him walk.
Let him walk. I mean, that's what the impression I'm getting from you. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong.
And I will tell you that you're right. In his best playoff game, he got 5 fourth quarter minutes, and that was a sight to see for Kevin Love. And right now, if you're not gonna play him in the fourth quarter, you don't have the initiative to play him in the fourth quarter. How is he gonna be a max player throughout the season? Okay. We've seen that.
I mean, you don't have to send. I'm not saying give him a max contract.
Oh,
but I'm talking about giving him a contract and bring him back to the squad. I think. I'm not saying if you're gonna bring him back, you don't have to bring him on a max deal. Even though I know that's what Love wants, but I'm just saying, would you bring him back if you're just saying you could plug anybody in? Because you're kind of devaluing his
what he brings to the team.
Exactly what he brings to the team.
If he wanted to walk, I'd let him walk. But would I offer him a contract? Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Benzino.
It's all weird with this Kevin Love situation in Cleveland this year. From LeBron excluding him out of photos, and Kevin Love be like, "Hey, what about me? I'm not in the photo." Yeah, it was just so weird. And
he's Cinderella right now.
And the fact that Love don't get off the bench in the fourth quarter, which is weird if you're a premier player in the league.
Yeah.
You're playing the power forward position, and the fact that Kevin Love is a tremendous rebounder, and you're not playing in the fourth. It's just so weird, this experiment in Cleveland. So I would evaluate Kevin Love. I would offer him the contract to come back, but if he walks, he walks. I lost A. Wiggins for A. Wiggins for K Love.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's based off his performance this year. I don't think he's worth a max contract. Mm-hmm. I don't regret the trade. If I'm Cleveland, I still stick with the trade because you know what you're getting with Kevin Love. You do not know what you're getting with Andrew Wiggins, and you're with LeBron being 30 and Kyrie being in the league now for quite a few years now, and he's getting tired of losing. I think you need that type of third All-Star. Mm-hmm. But I see it almost like the same situation with Miami Heat when they brought Bosh, LeBron, and Wade in. The offense was run through LeBron and Wade, and Bosh was the forgetful one. He was the forgetful child of the big three. And I see Kevin Love being the same way. You've seen in the first year, Bosh really didn't know what role he was going to play. But after the first year, you've seen, okay, he started figuring out what parts of the game he can affect. You know, if I'm not going to get 20 points a night, where can I put my imprint on? Defense. Okay, let me get rebounds. Let me, help bring energy to the starting lineup. Let me know whatever
Work
they
on
want
his
to do.
outside shot, which
Exactly.
he has.
Exactly. So I would say if I'm Cleveland, I give Love another shot. Because yes, you can let him go and walk away, but think about it. Who are you going to replace him at the power forward position? Who can have similar skills and help spread the floor for him? Because if you lose him, you lose your best 3-point shooter, I believe. Who can help spread the floor? You lose depth in the front court, which you do not have right now.
Not at all.
So I think you give him another chance, and you see if you can get that whole experiment where he plays more like a Bosh type style, where you go to him, he can help spread the floor for you. But his main goal is to make sure he brings energy to the starting lineup. He's efficient when it comes to the backboard and grabbing rebounds and second chance buckets, and you help him spread the floor. And I think that would work perfectly because I can see Kyrie as a young Dwayne Wade and LeBron being LeBron. So I think you bring him back.
Sean?
Well, I quite frankly don't have much to say about that. I expressed my opinion on that, and that'll be it. So since
all right, wait, hold on, Sean. I'm sorry to cut you off. One quick question though for you. You say let love walk. You let love walk. Where you want him to go?
Where would I want him to go?
Where you want him to go?
Anywhere he likes.
Nah. I didn't say where he want to. Like, I didn't ask Kevin Love where he want to go. I asked you where. If you let Kevin Love walk, where would you let him go? Where do you want him to go?
Where would I want him to go?
Yeah.
The Knickerbockers. Anyway, guys,
NYK up here.
The 3-man weave for the day. NYK up.
Feel me?
Up in the draft.
Hashtag Jamaica.
Follow me at Rob Jiggity.
Hashtag follow me at Rob Jiggity. Hashtag Profit Music with a K.
With a K. Don't forget it. 3-man weave, WICO. We out here mobbing.
Hashtag Benzino the Hero.
Whoa, y'all see we out here.
Yep.
Armand has no Instagram. Let's go.